As a game developer, you're probably used to giving 30% of your in-app purchase revenue to Apple and Google. That's why there's a gaming trend on the rise that studios like Playtika, Scopely, Zynga, Niantic, and tons more are getting in on, and that's Webshops. Let's start with a quick definition. A webshop is a direct-to-consumer channel that sells in-game items on a website outside of the game itself. Think skins, resource bundles, and battle passes, all usually at a discounted price. You can sometimes find non-commercial content on webshops too, like lore, strategy guides, user-generated content, and web series. The first thing to know about why webshops are trending is antitrust regulations around the world are cracking down on Apple and Google's 30% fees and other restrictions on what developers can do and say in their games. Lawsuits and legislation like Google v. Epic in the US, the Digital Markets Act in Europe, and the Digital Markets Competition and Consumers Act in the UK all point to the fact that the big platforms are going to have to change. And this is opening doors for alternative payment channels like webshops. Here are 4 benefits game developers get with a webshop. 1. A huge bump in revenue. Devs don't have to pay the 30% commission fees, meaning they can earn a lot more revenue per purchase. That extra revenue goes a long way, especially when user acquisition and game growth is harder than ever. What other monetization strategy gives you an immediate 30% revenue bump? 2. Building a direct connection with players and finally owning the player relationship. Gamers can share contact information like email addresses to log into the shop and get personalized offers, enjoy more bang for their buck, and access exclusive content. That lets developers run retargeting campaigns, which is almost impossible otherwise today. 3. Immersion. Webshops are a great way to immerse players deeper into the game world. Adding lore, guides, matchmaking, and even grassroots esports enhances and expands your game's universe, so players feel more connected and loyal to your IP. 4. More control. The web gives you more flexibility than in-game, like dynamic pricing, personalized bundles, higher price points, and volume-based discounts. But the benefits aren't just for developers. Because developers earn more revenue per purchase, they can afford to give players higher discounts, meaning players save big on their favorite purchases. Plus, players can get exclusive and even early access content before everyone else in the game itself. Not to mention extra content like guides, lore, web series, fan contests, and way more community features. You may be wondering why anyone would leave the game and open a browser on their phone to go make an in-app purchase. It's true that IAPs in the app are way more convenient, which is why the best webshops need to win on experience. Basically, the best webshops need to create a better way to pay than Apple and Google, and that comes down to adding value. There are 3 layers you need to build into your webshop to do that. A strong infrastructure, traffic drivers to attract players, and engagement features to retain players. Let's start with infrastructure. At its most basic, a webshop is a place for players to complete transactions. This means implementing payments rails and choosing a payment gateway to make sure you can process and validate those transactions. It also means setting up a compliance and tax system so you can remain above board in all the countries that you're processing transactions from. Beyond the ability to handle payment, your webshop should also make account linking easy and frictionless. The fewer steps that a player needs to go to for linking their game account to the webshop, the better their experience, and the more likely they will be to actually complete linking. For example, you can use a QR code for players that are accessing your webshop on PC, or deep links that automatically log them in on mobile. Then there's personalization. Having a system for personalizing offers on the user level means each player gets a unique web storefront. They only see the most relevant and appealing offers, which can increase conversion rates and retention. Now, let's talk about the second layer, incentives and e-commerce offers that drive traffic to your webshop. That's always the biggest question. How do you get players to your webshop without violating any App Store rules? Incentives and offers are the features that attract players to your shop in the first place. And these can be things like daily login rewards, loyalty programs, buy one get one offers, VIP stores, creator codes, volume-based discounts, referral programs, and way more. For example, for one of our developer partners, we built a custom loyalty program that rewards players when they spend on the webshop. The more they spend, the quicker they ascend through the loyalty tiers, and the higher their rewards. They can also earn points towards loyalty tiers in-game, which can help drive even more traffic to the shop. Lastly, there's the engagement layer. With incentives and offers, you get players over to your shop. And with engagement features, you can get them to stick around and come back. Content like user-generated content, a web series, and strategy guides fall under this bucket. And community features too, like a chat system, matchmaking, and esports can all keep players engaged with your webshop. Think of these engagement features as additional layers to the gameplay experience. They can add real value for users and give them new ways to interact with your IP. What we believe is that your webshop should be the best way for players to pay for their in-game items. If you want to create a storefront that players actually want to engage with again and again, talk to us at Stash.